Hello, thank you so much for clicking on our general training for post-COVID lab access at the University of Pittsburgh's Nanofabrication and Characterization Facility, also known as the Nano Lab in the sub-basement of Benedum Hall. If you would like to follow along, the Become a User document will be provided along with this link here on nano.pitt.edu, Become a User. And step 4 is where you're at currently, and follow along. This is the document that I am providing both on the website. Currently, due to being actively recording, this is the link to our channel, the Pitt Nano channel on YouTube. I will update this document to link to this actual video that we are currently creating once it is live. We're going to start off with instruction on how to help reduce the risk of COVID-19 exposure. Of course, this is ongoing. If you have symptoms of COVID-19, please do not enter any university buildings. If you've been recently, please update our staff so that we can pass the word along as applicable based on our records through FOM, which we'll learn about soon. COVID-19 is, of course, able to be spread between people who don't have symptoms or who turn up with symptoms later. If at some point you do also test positive, please alert staff of any locations that you visited as it relates to exposure risk protocol. We'll help you out with that. We encourage you to cancel if you need to based on health, and we can help you with anything related to that. Please also properly wash and sanitize your hands before and after use of lab spaces. We do have a hand sanitizer dispenser at the entrance, and I'll show you where when we're doing the tour a little bit later. And of course, don't touch your eyes, nose, and mouth with unwashed hands if possible. Masks. As of Monday this week of recording, masks are now optional on campus. You can, of course, still wear your mask. Mine's right here, the room's empty. Or you can not wear a mask. This has now become optional. Please check current mandates for the university. I'm providing a link here. You can also Google University of Pittsburgh mask requirements, and the most current advice about masks will therefore be provided. If mask mandates return, we will return to providing everything needed for that. Face masks and vaccination are, of course, remaining the primary preventative measures of the spread of the virus. Okay, we have gloves and supplies available for you throughout the lab. At this moment, I am going to open our tour. So we have this entryway here. We are in the sub-basement. The elevator is that way. The stairwell coming from Bouquet is this way. Turning here, sorry about that. We have a shoe duster. We do ask that you dust your shoes every time. You will notice that this is now red. We got a new one. And all you have to do is put some pressure on the handle itself and it will activate the brushers. This removes excess dirt from the bottom of your shoes. Please use that every time coming through this door. I have placed gloves in here. We have gloves in each TEM room, which you will be shown if you are being trained on those machines. And we have gloves, wipes, and extra masks available on this shelf here. This is the main entry. Back out in the hallway, with the elevator being down that way, this space right here, we have more supplies available. So I'm returning to out here. This is a picture of that space right here. We have this little bump out, a window, a chair, and the edge of a door in this tiny picture. This table has been placed right here with wipers and disinfectant available for you. Additionally, a dispenser for a hand sanitizer is right here. So we do ask that you use blue or gray gloves that we are providing for you in the lab as much as possible. We do also have clean room grade gloves. Those do have intermittent ongoing shortages in supply, and because of that, we are asking that you use them only if specifically needed. And that would be for very low static needs or specifically if you're going into the clean room. This training does not provide for clean room access. These are the yellow doors here. This yellow door goes into the clean room. It's yellow because of UV filtration on the light. And if you're going in there, you need one additional training after this. Going through this door, again, I would like to quickly speak about these phones. At this time, we have a yellow emblem on the handle explaining our main trunk line. You dial 38001, and it's just says dial 38001 on every handle of every phone. This is an old picture. And that is how you would reach any staff. We also have a phone list. However, if you dial the number that is associated with the staff name, you will be reaching their voicemails. So please call the central line. That's like our helpline, and one of our staff will pick up. Emergency alarms. Here, of course, you can see an example of a fire alarm. I'm sure you're familiar. They blink, they talk, and if they go off, they may say fire, they may explain some other emergency state. If they're going off, unless it explains otherwise, we recommend that you exit the building and at least cross a street. By crossing a street, you are providing some distance between you and any laboratory exhaust ports that come out in various places around the lab. So it's just an extra precaution. Up here is an example of another type of alarm that's less common, which is provided throughout our lab. Each room will have one of these from the ceiling. If it goes off, it will blink and it will beep pretty loud. This alarm is an air quality alarm. It will go off for high ammonia, low oxygen, any silane, chloride, apologies. And if it goes off, there are some others on the list. If it goes off, the recommendation is to exit the lab and not stand near any of its entrances. Our lab is air pressurized so that the dirt is pushing out of the cracks rather than drawing it in. But that means that any air quality difficulties are also being pushed out through the cracks. So we do ask that if this goes off, you exit. You may come up to our office space at that point and let us know that it's happening. We can hear it, but barely. The cement's pretty thick between here and there. So it's very helpful if you can come let us know. We can then address the problem and determine the level of severity. Okay, returning to this document. When we enter the lab, we do use that shoe duster, which I talked about at the entrance. We ask, please, from November 1st until April 30th, please bring indoor shoes. You may have a pair of shoes that are likely to take on water and that you'd never wear in the wintertime. Those are good shoes to carry here and then change when you arrive. The reason for this is because during this time period, we have difficulties with road salt residue being tracked in by shoes. Because of that difficulty, that then is a corrosive and it's a particulate, and being attached to the clean room, it can create quite a lot of problems for our very high sensitivity machines. So we do ask you bring those shoes and change during that period of time. If the weather is particularly gross, maybe a good idea then too, but required during this time. If you are bringing with you any bulky bags, that would be your backpack or a big coat. Those are big bags and coat worth of particulate. In the exterior hallway, we have this locker. That's a backpack there. There's a coat rail. You put your coat. You can put your backpack. Please mark your name using the provided sticky notes and the provided pen so that if security comes by, they will know that that is an okay bag to be there. Okay, so, and if you need one of those, we do still have a few left, so let me know. And this is my email, main email there. In the lab, we are asking that you please clean and disinfect frequently for high-touch surfaces. It's an ongoing thing. No longer mandatory, but encouraged. Please note that if you are disinfecting a surface that can control the equipment, our program called FOM, which is this, and you've signed up for it already, our program called FOM disables the computer screen of the equipment, but it does not disable things such as the keyboard or other settings modifiers on the machine. So we ask before disinfectant to use your phone or the provided touch surface in the main entry hallway to log into FOM on your machine and on your reservation before you start disinfecting so that if you happen to change a setting, you will know. If you do change a setting, it's totally okay. Please just let a staff member know and we'll help you put it back, especially if you don't automatically know how to put it back yourself. We can help with that. That's what we're here for. So that is first FOM tip. We do provide wipers of various types, IPA and a peroxide-based cleaner. And those are available in many places throughout the lab. When we're toward, I'll mention as we go through the tour, and there's also a map at the bottom of this document. Please spray the wipe, not directly on the surface. Spraying onto the surface that you're trying to disinfect not only does not disinfect as well as a wiper saturated does, but also it risks hitting electronics, dispersing the cleaner particles onto people's samples nearby, etc. So please spray the wipe and check your settings are not being modified through FOM login. We are, when entering, as you noticed, we are heading on the way to the clean room when we come in here. This is our buffer zone for a clean room. We don't have as much of a traditional buffer zone. So you do need to dust your shoes every time. You do need to avoid bringing the road salt in. And you do need to use these sticky mats here. 2 steps. This is a photo stitching glitch. 2 steps on each of the sticky mats and on the way to where you're going. So this is why we're doing some particle containment even for characterization. Additionally, clean room and high sensitivity samples are being reviewed in this space, and so we do want to keep the particulate lower than average in our characterization spaces as well to best accommodate sensitive science going on. But also note these do not give you access to this yellow door. The clean room training is an additional quiz and video and meeting. I will actually meet digitally. So let me know if you do need cleaning or in clean room, or if you end up requesting a clean room equipment through FOM, then that will let me know automatically and we'll get you set up that way. During use of any machine, you may come up with questions. I do want to say that we encourage as many questions to staff as come to mind. Ask us at any time during your run, after your run, preferably while you're having the problem so that we can help if possible. So if you encounter an issue, please use any of these methods for contact. Note that not all staff are always present. We do have some amount of shifts from home, some amount of shifts on site. So there are central contact methods. There's email. This email does contact all staff in addition to me. My email, I'm sure you already have it from getting to this point, is B as in boy, ARRJ @pitt.edu. That's my direct. If you want to reach out and you're not sure who's here or who you need, this is an excellent email to use all the time. So that's email. Phone is that 38001 from a wall phone. Or if you're calling from your cell phone, which if you have Wi-Fi calling should work. We are 3 floors underground, so if you aren't set up with your Wi-Fi calling, you might need the wall phone. 412-383-8001 from a non-Pitt, non-wall phone. We also have Teams, which we will review in some amount of detail. This is being recorded through Teams and screen sharing. And that has a interface where you can contact all of us at once. I'll show you. And this link takes you directly there. Or in person, if you see a staff member standing in the lab, if they're not actively really immersed in a training, they can usually break to ask for something urgent if it's just quick. Some of the trainings, it's a little more difficult to interrupt, but they'll let you know, and then you could reach out one of these other ways. If you are going to use a communal phone, please pick up some of the disinfectants for the handset before and after, just, you know, kind of reducing the amount of things that are touching people's faces. It's a communal item. Staff offices are accessible to you once I activate your card. If your card doesn't work yet, please remind me. That is an additional separate step for me to activate that. So if I've missed it, please let me know. All I need is a photo of the front and back of your card to get that. If your access card does not provide you access, that's how to get it. You can email this, you can email me directly, and I can check if it's set up right. Our offices are immediately above the clean room that is down the end of the stairwell that's right here, up half a flight, and the door there. If you can unlock this door, you'll be able to unlock that door. That is how to access staff, how to access for questions, and we encourage all questions. We'd rather deal with 50 to 100 questions of yours than deal with a broken machine, so please ask all the time. Okay, great. So let's talk about how to get trainings, how trainings work. After this orientation, I will get a notification and I will be able to activate you for access to the characterization side of the lab. You will then be able to request training via the FOM homepage. Let me show it. I am currently logged in as my test user instance to show you the same menu that you will have. I want to show you how to request a training. So after this orientation, and once I activate it, so when I get your certificate and activate it, you will get a little email from FOM, and that will say it's ready for you to start an equipment training request. So once you're activated, you will be able to click on the test, the home page. So this is the user home, and you see this popped up. There is an additional view available, which is like this. So to request a training, you click home. The dashboard view will allow you to scroll through the PNC section and find any equipment in the Pincy menu to request it. Keep in mind that if you go past here, you're contacting different people in charge of a different lab. So this and above are Pincy and FCF related equipment. Let's pick an example. Here is an application for an equipment, something random to select, and you will be an internal PIT user unless you're not. If you are an external nonprofit such as CMU or NETL or any other entity, or if you are requesting from an external company, then you would click the appropriate. I'm an internal PIT user. And this is a good place to indicate my schedule for availability. That is a good place to indicate I can't do Tuesday afternoons or whatever the case may be. This is going to create an email that goes directly to the people who will be giving the training. And it will help them then to go ahead and schedule the training with you. It will link in your email and they'll be able to reach out to you and say, my schedule works or it doesn't. Test user demonstration. That's so I don't confuse my coworkers. Okay, at this point, it says who your most likely training personnel are. If you need it, you can save it. And I'm just going to click OK. And that finalizes the email. So please make sure you hit OK, not X at that point. So that put in a training request. For any equipment that you do have access to already, you can click to see it. It's currently in use. Let's come on to this. Here we go. So this is just an example. Once I were trained up on that AFM, you could click it out of this drop-down menu and select any equipment. In this case, now I am scheduling my own. So this is an equipment that I've already completed the training on, and this is a demonstration of how FOM will work. I find it helpful to think of FOM as the app that is controlling a resource that you need. And an example of a more real-world common type of app controlling a resource that would be analogous is such as those crazy scooters that are outside. If you need one of the scooters, you're going to use the app to say, this is me taking control of the scooter. And it also helpful to remember, especially with scooters, if the example would be if you took a scooter to go to the grocery store and then logged out and left it in the parking lot, it would not be appropriate to be surprised or angry if it wasn't still there when you returned. So you want to stay logged in for the amount of time that you want to have control of the machine and not have someone else logging in over top of you. Also, you want to keep in mind that the first hour is full price. We discourage logging in and out and in and out, and that is our method of doing so. It just creates scheduling chaos for those that may also want to be planning to use the machine. When you log in, you finish your process, and then you log out. You may express login. This would be use of this red line, or you may schedule in advance. So if tomorrow I wanted to have an appointment, I would click on the time that I'd like to start my appointment. And then I would pick an account number. So if you have provided by chance your account number, that is a University of Pittsburgh account, it's 32 digits long, and you would get it from your PI or a financial staff supporting that person. The names that you gave those will pop up here, and if you have more than one active, you'll be able to choose right now. I'm just saying example second account is my account. And then please pick a meaningful end time. So let's say I need to use this machine for 2 hours, right? It would not make sense to click 1900 because that's only giving me half an hour. I want to click 2030. Comments are not necessary, but they are useful enough. So I'm going to hit reserve. So that's now there for tomorrow. I can also cancel. You can add a note as to why you're canceling and cancel your reservation. You can schedule for the near future. Pick a meaningful end time. We'll say that 2 hours again. I'm going to reserve. This, to log into it, I can just click on the green area. And I can either log on or cancel. I'm going to hit cancel so I can show you one other feature. If I click on this, if I walk into the lab and I'm ready to go, and I look on FOM and it's actually available, there's no one scheduled like sooner than I need to finish, then you can click right on this red line, and this is called Express Logon. Click the account number that you like, click a meaningful end time, and this is Express Logon. Okay, so this is me being actively logged into the machine right now, and I can stay on this until the time that it's ended reserved. If I stay extra, then I can type stayed extra in the comment when I'm exiting. That way I'll know it wasn't a forgotten log off rather. If you are logging off, you just click on anything red. I do want to show you from the home page here, and you have this option to switch to classic view. Personally, I like this view better. If you only have a couple machines, this might be fine, but you can see that this is pink and it says being used by me. So if you're looking at your top page, look for your name by pink, and same thing with classic view. Here is pink, and this pink has my name. And to request any trainings, I can request trainings through this interface here as well. And this helps with understanding which lab you're requesting as well. Or you can search and request in that way. So going back to this to log out, I'm just clicking here and I'm clicking log off. If I stayed extra, I would say stayed extra. That way I'll know. I get a report at the end of each month that says who forgot to log off and who may then have been charged too much, because you can sort of understand that if you forgot to log off and it's Friday, you don't realize till Monday, please email me to let me know if that has occurred. That way I can assist with any price that may have accumulated during that, and your PI won't have to worry about it that way. If I see more than 2 hours extra on something, I will be emailing to make sure that that was correct, just to make sure we're providing billing that is not based on accidents. Okay, please do make sure that you log off. There you go. Some equipment here, it says have a limitation as to how much time in a week, month, etc. you can reserve. If you find there's a pop-up message and that's a difficult thing for you, you can always request and staff can assist if approved. So, equipment, that's reservation. Training, select meaningful end time. How to do an express logon, and remember to log off. We went through that. And if you need help before, during, or after, here's the staff phone number, the emails, including that NFCF admin email or Teams. So I would like to take a look at our Teams layout and then talk about how our buddy system through Teams works. So this is an explanation of Teams. Teams is an interface that allows you to go into the public Teams. If I click it now, we will exit the recording, so I unfortunately cannot give you an active example, but please click this. This is a good place to put up questions, or to email us is also okay. We have the public teams. If you have a Pitt login, you already have access to this. It's set up so that anyone at Pitt can log in, including your roommate. Like if you have a roommate that is getting an English degree and has nothing to do with engineering, they can log into this. And here's why that's good. The buddy system is a channel in our team, and you can link directly to it. We are currently in nano.pitt.edu, and it's NFCF Teams is the link. And buddy system is also listed in our policies. Virtual buddy system. So we have Teams and we have the buddy system. So this buddy system is set up so that anyone can help with providing you with a buddy. Teams, during regular hours, staff, such as myself, are your buddy. If there's staff on site, we can be your buddy. No equipment should be operated unless a buddy or staff is aware that you are here. This is regardless of how safe or dangerous, regardless of the safety level of operating the equipment that you're thinking about. A simple accident, such as a slip and fall, can become much more dangerous if no one knows you're here. And of course, our foot traffic has reduced since the building locks at night and things like that. So during off hours, and especially when no one else is present in the lab, you will use buddy system. Your buddy can be someone else in your team or your PI, someone else who uses the lab. It can be your roommate that's taking an English major. It can be your mom. It can be your friend from high school in another time zone. All of those options are fine. If the person does not have the ability to unlock the door where you're at, they will need to know Pitt Police phone number, 412-624-2121. Please don't make your buddy panic unnecessarily. The procedure is that you will log in, both of you, to that team. If they don't have a Pitt password, I can add them. Just let me know in advance what your high school friend or parent or sibling or whoever's uncle, doesn't matter who, whatever their email address is, I can add them and they can be your buddy. This makes having someone keeping an eye on you in the lab much more accessible. So we are keeping this available to people. If they lose touch with you, once an hour, you should check in. Are you okay? Yes, I'm like, okay. Or the other way around. And then when you're leaving, say, I'm out, I'm safe, it's done. And then that's it. That's your buddy system. If at some point they can't reach you, they should contact security to help track you down. So that is how the virtual buddy system works. Staff are looking after it to make sure that people are using it appropriately. So please do either have someone in the lab with you, which is approved now, or set up to have a virtual buddy. Here's the link again to how that works. If you would like to have exterior building access for night times, I believe the buildings currently automatically lock at 10 p.m. If you would like to have an upgrade on that, please let me know via this email or my direct email, and I can arrange that for you. It's not something I have direct control over, but I can set it up. If you do get that, and if we do set it up, I want you to know which doors that will unlock, because it's not the doors you expect. I am currently, this is a pile of rubble now. Physics is down there. This is Bouquet Street. That's Presby Hospital. This is Bouquet and O'Hara. So this is a door right in here. Nighttime access controls that door. Another door is one more back. Here we go. Up here. The first door on your right up here unlocks with your card. At night, after 10 p.m., none of us, not even me, have control over this door. The only person you'll see being able to unlock this is like the plumber. They can unlock everything. So plumber, carpenter, those kind of people, but only this door will unlock if you get nighttime access. And let me know if you need it, because it's not automatic. When you're coming in, even if there's nobody sitting at the kiosk, please, once you enter, tap your card, and that helps with COVID tracking. So that's what this is. We're going to take a look at a couple of the policies. Access expiry. I do want to point out this equipment access expiry, where in nano.pitt.edu/policies, and I used the menu at the top for this hashtag sign to show up. So policies about access expiry. That is, this training lasts a year. However, equipment trainings, from the very last time that you logged in, your extension of a year gets re-extended every time you use the lab. So when you use the lab, you're extending into the future for a year for this, but equipment, it's 6 months. So if you log into an equipment right after you got trained, then the next 6 months. Your training gives you the next 6 months. If you stop coming right after your training and then try and log in 7 months from now, you will find you need to retrain. We mention this now so that we can assist you with planning, or so you can check with your team members or your supervisor to find out when you expect to have your samples in hand. It is surprising the number of groups that get trained and think they're going to have their stuff really soon. It's really good to make sure that your timing of your training is going to be followed by having that sample available to you in less than 6 months at the least. I do also want to mention our no-show policy. So these policies are to increase the efficiency of the lab and the accessibility of our lab to as many users as possible. When you are logging in to the machines, you want to be able to count on being able to schedule it, having as much availability as possible. A no-show can really mess up if a lot of people are waiting on that machine. It can really disrupt just the flow of things. So if a no-show occurs 30 minutes after you have not shown up for your scheduled time, at which point it does generate a point. The interface says fees, but it's honestly, we're not charging for it. It's 13 cents, but we are counting fees as points. So we're not really charging. We're more so just looking at that and saying, hey, we need to make sure as few of these happen as possible. So we do look in and see how people are doing from time to time. We also encourage minimal cancellation late. Now, late is classified as 24 hours or less, which you can understand from someone trying to plan for tomorrow why that is considered late, although it feels pretty soon when you're the one doing the canceling. If you have a supported reason, such as one of the machines I needed to use is down or whatever the case may be, you can let me know. And I can waive these. We don't waive no-shows unless it's really an emergency, but we can waive late cancellations. The process is go into your reservation and select cancel, click cancel with fee, and then email me if you think it shouldn't be a charge. And I'll consider it. A lot of times we do take it. So, but please avoid, if at all possible, avoid a no-show. You know, like car accidents or you got really sick, okay, fine. But for other reasons, you should be canceling, not no-showing, okay? And that is One more thing that is really helpful to share, we're still on nano.pitt.edu, and I'm clicking pricing here. We do have pricing. This is not a personal price. This is a price that goes on your PI research account or whichever account they provided for you for your FOM interface. And I do want to point out that our equipment has these dollar amounts for direct access. Once you're trained, you'll be able to just sign in, and the hourly fee on these particular machines is that, etc. Keep in mind that this is internal Pitt users. We are funded by various departments, so we can give a big discount for internal users. External users, such as other schools, the nonprofits for other schools, the nonprofits that may be accessing and watching this video, a little bit more, and then commercial a little bit more. It's our agreement that we have. And then there is also this training and service. I want to stress that training and service costs are only incurred for trainings, and specifically the definition of service being you bring a project and you hand it to us. And on agreement, this is a case by case, we don't have a ton of staff, so we can't always do this, but on agreement with a staff member, if they're able to just totally do the project for you, that's when these kick in, and that would be a special circumstance. We do not charge for questions. Please ask every question that comes to mind. We want to provide the service, and we want to keep the machines fully functional for all our users. We are not charging any fees for you to ask questions or to let us know when there's a problem. Please talk to us. The other thing that's helpful is I'm clicking from pricing, just to show again, I've gone down to view estimated training lengths. This link comes here. This is a grid that has all of our equipment by section of the lab and alphabetically by equipment, how long the training is expected to be. Some of them are long, some of them are short, most likely people who might give the training. And this machine happens to be $20 for direct sign-in. The math is already done for you here with the training plus the equipment time added together. And so you can get an idea of what amount you're looking at, and then do keep in mind that 6-month expiry. Our policies in general are located nano.pit equipment policies. That's how you navigate there. Pardon me. I would like then to just show this map, and we're going to wrap it up. The map here includes an overview of our space. The space is the entryway that we showed here is the main hallway. We have TEMs, we have a Fishione space, we have another TEM, and then we have a main characterization room. Upgrading into the blue areas, that's any of the yellow windows coming from either the stairs or the elevator. You can then come inside the lab, make sure you dust your shoes. Here, we have gloves available. And we ask that you put 2 footprints on each of these mats in the direction you're going. If you have TEM access, you may be able to open this room. If you want to upgrade to clean room, then I can help you with, and that would be this room. In this area, so we've just gone from here through the gray hallway and come into this door. In this area, we have gloves, wipes, disinfectant here, and there is additionally another characterization space back in here that we can help with your access to all of these areas as may be needed. So with that in mind, we have finished this document, and if you have any questions, please let me know. Please also send me a photo of the front and back of your Pitt ID so that I can grant you door access. Thank you.